California set a very alarming new record for earthquakes, Michael Snyder reports. What in the world is happening in California? And we have a lot of earthquakes around the area of Los Angeles. Tens of thousands of people reported feeling them. So what's happening? The state just keeps getting hit by major disaster after major disaster, but we're all supposed to pretend that this is perfectly normal. Of course, the truth is that what we're witnessing is not normal at all. And as you see, California just set a very alarming new record for earthquakes in a single year. In addition, the number of acres that wildfires have burned in the state this year is about 3 times higher than last year. So please don't try to convince me that this is normal. Of course, it is not just the state of California that's experiencing an unusual number of natural disasters. As I've been warning for a long time, our entire planet is becoming increasingly unstable. Early on Thursday morning, residents of Southern California were shaken by a magnitude 4.7 earthquake, and I did post a video on that. There was at least 20 earthquakes that same day. Now, large 4.7 magnitude earthquakes rattled parts of Southern California, basically Los Angeles area, Malibu. Early Thursday, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, the quake struck the Malibu area around 7:28 a.m. with an initial magnitude of 5.1, officials said, and since then it was downgraded to 4.7. The epicenter of the quake was in Malibu, but people living all over the Los Angeles area could feel it. The 7:28 a.m. quake was centered in the Malibu area. Shaking from the earthquake was reported in Malibu, Hermosa Beach, La Merida, Anaheim, and Hollywood Hills, and parts of the San Fernando Valley so far. I even saw one report that indicated that the earthquake could be felt all the way down to San Diego. And following the initial quake, there were over 24 aftershocks. By itself, this latest earthquake would not be that big of a deal because very little damage was done. What makes it important is the larger pattern that we've been witnessing. According to USGS seismologist Lucy Jones, the number of magnitude 4 sequences that we have seen so far this year is the highest ever recorded. In a televised question and answer just after the trembler, USGS seismologist Lucy Jones said, "We have had more than the average number of magnitude 4 earthquakes in Southern California this year, the average being about 8 magnitude 4 sequences, that being sequence of the last one, magnitude 4. So far, we've had 14 in Southern California. The largest previous year was 13. So what does all of this mean? Is all of this seismic activity in Southern California building up to something? And if you ask one scientist, you'll get one answer. If you ask another scientist, you'll get another answer. But pretty much all of them agree that the big one is way overdue. When the big one finally arrives, life in Southern California will never be the same again. At the same time that all of this is taking place in Southern California, wildfires in the region are burning tens of thousands of acres. Firefighters are battling 3 major wildfires at this moment, and it's being reported that the Bridge Fire has now exploded and has become the largest active fire in the state. The raging wildfire in Los Angeles and the San Bernardino counties has exploded to almost 50,000 acres, forcing residents to flee in a hurry and destroying dozens of homes. The Bridge Fire has set over 51,000 acres ablaze and is 0% contained, officials said on Thursday. Its rapid growth made it the largest active fire in the state, surpassing the Line Fire, which is also burning in San Bernardino and has scorched another 37,000 acres with only 18% containment. One evacuee described a harrowing scene on Tuesday as flames reached a neighborhood atop California's Mount Baldy. Looking at the mountain from afar, it looked like a nuke went off, nothing but smoke, Liz Wenzel said. You can imagine looking back at where your home once stood and seeing that it looks like a nuke went off. What a tragedy. You may be thinking that there are wildfires in California every year, and you would be quite correct. But what we're witnessing this year is particularly horrible. We're being told that the state has already seen nearly 3 times as much acreage burned than during all of 2023. California is only now heading into the teeth of the wildfire season, but already has seen nearly 3 times as much acreage burned than during all of 2023. The wildfires have threatened tens of thousands of homes and other structures across Southern California since they accelerated during the triple-digit heat wave over the weekend. Just think about that for a moment. The number of acres that has burned in California is already 3 times higher than all of last year, and we're just now entering the heart of wildfire season for the state. Of course, we're also seeing lots of very unusual things happen elsewhere around the world too. For instance, the number of hailstorms in Europe appears to be increasing at an exponential rate. Having analyzed the European Severe Weather Database, Chaucer said that the number of hailstorms has jumped 104% to 11,808 storms last year, year ending June 30th, 2024, up from 5,785 in 2022-23 period. That certainly is not good. And earlier today I came across a story about a landslide in Greenland that caused a mega tsunami that shook the earth for 9 straight days. After a mountaintop collapsed into the sea in Greenland, a mega tsunami as tall as a skyscraper shook the earth for 9 straight days, baffling scientists around the world. No one was injured by the landslide or resulting tsunami, but the 650-foot tall wave destroyed roughly $200,000 worth of infrastructure at an unoccupied research station on Ella Island. We all live on a giant space rock that is hurtling through space at 67,000 miles per hour. All throughout history, the giant space rock that we live on has been unstable, but now things seem to be getting a lot worse. I'm entirely convinced that we're entering a time when we will see cataclysmic geophysical events that would have once been absolutely unthinkable to most people. In other words, if you have always wondered what it would be like to be inside an epic Hollywood disaster movie, you're about to get your chance. So buckle up and hold on tight, because a tremendous amount of shaking is ahead of us. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. This is by Michael Snyder. About the author, Michael Snyder's extremely controversial new book entitled Chaos is available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies, Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and The Most Important News. And he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. These are such troubled times, and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.